Welcome. This is David Bussier here, life coach, and I'm sitting with a great colleague and friend of mine, Lisa Brown. She is going to be working with us on discussing positive psychology and discussing what it means to connect with clients. And she's going to be discussing her niche and where she comes from. And we're really excited to welcome Lisa. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us. Lisa, maybe you could start off by introducing yourself, introducing where you come from, your background a little bit, and what exactly you kind of work on right now.
Okay, great. Well, I'm Lisa Brown, and I'm a positive psychology life coach. And how I found positive psychology was it wasn't that I was unhappy in my world, but I was unhappy in aspects of my primary relationship within my marriage. And I didn't want to go to traditional therapy and talk about what wasn't working week after week. And I had been watching this course for years of positive psychology and decided that I wanted to learn it for myself. And to say it was life-changing would be the understatement of the century, to be honest with you. Positive psychology is strength-based, and it's the science of happiness. And the point of it is to look within, look at your strengths, and to really ask the question, what do you want? And if you think about how, so many people say what's wrong, is everything okay? But how often does someone say really, truly, what do you want? To dig deep and actually look at what that is. So I found positive psychology for self-improvement for myself, wanting to bring more happiness into my life. And then through that, discovered coaching and became a life coach. And the reason being is therapy is great, but it focuses on the past and what isn't working. And I didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to look at what future did I want and how could I go out and find the self-esteem and the courage and the strength to go make that happen. And the positive psychology allowed me to do it.
That's amazing. So how did you actually connect originally with positive psychology? What was the origination of, where were you introduced to it?
Really just from my own journey, from my own search. I wanted to be happier. And it's funny because it's really similar. My typical client is women in their 40s and 50s that are struggling in their primary relationship. Doesn't mean they want to leave their husband. Some have or want to, but more so really a feeling of, is this it? And where's the more fulfillment? And so that's really where I was. And I tried to find a positive psychology-based therapist, someone that would talk about my strengths, talk about what I could be, talk about what I really wanted, because I wasn't really sure what I really wanted. I'm not an unhappy person, but I was struggling with feelings of unhappiness. And so, again, I could not find the resource. I wish I could have found me, to be honest with you. And that's why my niche is the women that are walking the road that I was walking. That kind of inner turmoil of, I'm not an unhappy person. Why am I feeling unhappy? So what do you want?
So maybe explain more about your niche, because it's curious to know these type of women, what are they experiencing in life that connects them with you? What are the typical types of messages that they're kind of experiencing that they're resonating with you? And what is the style of coaching that you present to them that is separate from positive psychology that connects with you?
Yep. My style of coaching is, there's the purist style, which is coaching that is the belief that your client has all the answers. And if you just keep asking the right questions, they're going to find all the answers. And I guess in theory, yeah, that's right. But my style of coaching is more of a directive style. So for example, I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to give you direct feedback. I'm going to provide you tools. There's a certain educational piece that goes with it with me as well. And that's really what the positive psychology gave me, was tools to figure out who's your best self, who's your best identity. I use it in couples coaching. Who's our best we? You as a couple, what is that you want it to look like? And let's work towards that. So I have a lot of skills and tools in my kind of toolbox, if you will. And so I introduce those to my clients. So now getting back to who my client is, they really fall into one of three buckets. They're a woman that, again, they tend to be in their 40s and 50s, and they're starting to look around and think, is this it? Or thinking that they're not sure they want to stay in their marriage and they want to try and get some peace and clarity around that. And we start by working with them. So when you're at your best, you bring your best to a relationship, and it's incredible the changes you see in your relationship right off the bat for the positive. I also do couples coaching so that if they want a better relationship, couples coaching is different than therapy. Couples coaching is, what do you want your relationship to look like? Both of you. Let's have fun. Let's get there again. You got together for a reason. Let's get back to that. So we're not focusing on who didn't take the trash out. We don't even focus on the negative. We look towards what do you want, and let's put our efforts and energies there. And then my third kind of bucket of clients is someone, again, a woman, predominantly 40s and 50s, that has decided to leave their marriage. And so wouldn't it be criminal not to be stronger and better on the other side? And that's the work that we do together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you seem like you're really connected with coaching experience, a lot of that about that. And you also had shared with me briefly that you are going to be offering some opportunities for coaches to connect with you and share your experience in positive psychology. Maybe you could explain a little bit more about what you're going to be offering to some coaches out there like myself who are really interested in growing my toolbox and growing how I'm going to be able to present to clients on positive psychology's ways of empowering them and moving them into a direction that's not really like what they've experienced before. And so maybe you could explain a little bit more of what you're going to be offering.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thank you. So I'm putting together some workshops, and they'll be held by Skype. And I also do one-on-one coaching with coaches. And what it is really taking the best of the best from the positive psychology. So coaching is a style of working with a client, working for forward movement towards what the client wants in the future. Positive psychology actually provides a bucket of tools that are really great tools to help a client really decide to look at their strengths. And ironically, what strengths do they overuse? And because they're overusing them or holding them back. All kinds of things on relationships with themselves and with their primary partner and with their family or others. So it's a set of tools that I have that I want other coaches to have too, because I use it every time in my coaching sessions. I've got a coach actually that just called me this week, and she and I are going to start coaching together. And right off the bat, and just talking to her for 15 minutes, I wrote down 3 tools that I wanted to work with. To help her figure out her strengths, where her passion lies, where her fear lies, what's holding her back. And it's kind of like swimming. I have a swimming coach. And if the swimming coach just said to me, what do you want to do to get faster swimming? We'd be in the pool for forever and a day. But if she said, try shifting your hand this way, or try this stroke on, and let's see if that doesn't get us where we want to be, then she's given me knowledge. She's given me an approach that I didn't know that I then can try on. And so that's who I am as a coach, and that's what I want to provide other coaches.
Would you describe this as more of like a style of giving advice, or would you describe it more of an informational? Like, how would you describe it?
It really is more informational. It's not giving advice at all. It's trying something on. So one of the tools I use is a character strengths. And so it's a strength analogy. It's free. It takes 15 minutes to do, and it rates your 25 strengths, and it helps you identify what your core go-to strengths are. But what we do is we look at that list of strengths and we say, okay, be it personal or be it professional, which ones are you not tapping into that if you did would help you get the result you wanted? And frankly, which ones are you overusing that is so much your comfort zone, that strength, that it's really keeping you held back as opposed to flourishing and moving forward? So there's no advice given in that, but it's a fabulous approach to look at. If I said to you, what are your strengths? It'd be hard for you to name 25 and you wouldn't necessarily think of all of them. This helps put it in front of the client so we can use it as a tool to work with together.
That's amazing. Now, is there a common tool that you could share with us today that you could, maybe as me as a newcomer to positive psychology, that I could learn, we could share right now? There would be like a common tool that you're using with clients that's really informative, that's really moving them forward. Like, is there any examples you have?
Well, so that character strengths is my first and foremost, and I really pretty much start there with a client because no matter what they're working towards, if they can start taking a more honest look at themselves and tap into what you're looking to accomplish and how you already have that tool to do it. So that's first and foremost because that's getting us started right off the bat working from strengths. From that, there's a ton of other tools depending on what someone's looking for. But for example, one of our, what I refer to as a best I exercise is if you were to think of 3 people that you admire for various reasons and start writing down characteristics of those people. And then circle the 3 characteristics that truly speak to you the most and turn it into an I statement. So one of mine is I have a dear friend of mine and she just walks into a room and is joyous. And I've always admired that about her. And so when I say, well, Peggy is a really joyous human being, now I say, I'm a really joyous human being. And it helps me take in and adopt and be cognitive of the qualities I admire in others and how I can be that way as well.
Now, as we're wrapping up, I was just curious, how can people connect with you? That's first thing as a coach. And how can coaches look forward to these workshops you're going to be giving? And how can they reach out and maybe connect with you about coaching with you about that?
Okay, great. Well, my website is lisabrownlifecoach.com. And through there, you can grab my phone number or email me directly. And again, it's lisabrownlifecoach.com. And the kind of train the trainer, bringing the positive psychology to other coaches. I'm hoping to have that launched by the end of February. There's so much fabulous information that I'm working and pulling together. And then as far as one-on-one coaching, be it a coach looking to bring it in already, like I've already got this other client doing it, or just anyone listening to this that feels a connection, give me a call, let's talk, and let's see what I have to offer and what it is your needs are. And if I can help, I'm happy to.
That's fantastic. I think you are an amazing resource that coaches and potential clients, women in their 40s and 50s, are really going to feel a connection to you. I think they see in you so much of themselves that they are really resounding with, and that's exactly what I experience with a lot of clients I work with, and I think they see a connection that they want to see you are where they're hoping to be. And I think they are really excited about that. And I'm really excited we could share you with them, some of my clients, so they could see what positive psychology is about, how it can engage with them, and how it can reflect in the way they move throughout their lives. And I think that's fantastic. So don't forget, you can connect with Lisa at lisabrownlifecoach.com, and you can connect with her via email or phone. And I highly recommend people connecting with her about positive psychology. I think it's a great resource. I think it's an amazing way to do life coaching and coaching itself. I think it's a way that coaches myself are adapting and growing our skill set and our tools and being able to grow. And I think it's wonderful. Lisa, thank you so much for connecting with me today. I think we're going to have more opportunities in the future to showcase your skill sets and maybe do some demonstrations of some coaching you do and the way we can have you connect with future clients itself. Thank you so much.
That's great, David. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity. Good to see you.
Thanks so much.